What's good, people? I'm Simeon Panda and welcome to my channel. Okay guys, so whenever I post a squat video, I always get comments about how I squat the way I do. Now, I've told you guys many times that I had to go back to the drawing board, switch things up on my squat just to make it more comfortable, because it was a love-hate, just like most people. I loved it, but I hated it because my form just wasn't great, you know? So what I'm gonna do today is finally produce a video for you guys that explains all the tips that you need to fix your squat. So after this video, you should be able to take these little tips, implement them in your own squat technique and improve, you know? And that's gonna help you get stronger. It's gonna help you relieve all those pains that you're getting, which normally come from improper technique. So yeah, it's gonna be a good video. Let's go. So we are literally starting from the ground up. Footwear is one of the most important factors that will determine how well you squat. Any structure that intends to hold a significant weight needs to have a solid base. You will seldom see me barbell squatting without squat shoes, but why do I wear them? Let's go through some of the less desirable alternatives. First off, we have a typical pair of trainers. Yes, us Brits call sneakers trainers. You really do not want to be squatting in these or anything similar. Running shoes and shoes with air bubbles are constructed to absorb and dissipate forces that occur when your feet makes contact with the ground. When you're squatting, the last thing you want is a soft, gel or air-based sole that will not only decrease your ability to maintain a stable connection to the floor, but will also reduce your power output. Converse, Chuck Taylors or Chucks, however you want to describe them, are commonly seen on the feet of those that frequent the squat rack, and for good reason, especially if you are a low bar wide squatter. They have a firm flat sole that allows your feet to effectively transfer force through the floor. Now, the taller you are, the more you will benefit from heeled shoes. If you have long femurs like myself, a pair of squat shoes should be your first choice. The heel on the squat shoes allows you to squat with an increased range of motion. The higher the heel, the more forward your knees will be. This automatically causes your hips to drop, giving you an instantly deeper squat. Squat shoes also provide a great transfer of power through the floor. The hard sole keeps your feet balanced, which makes it easier to keep the load distributed over your center of mass, which enables you to lift more weight. The Nike Metcon series of training shoes were released in 2015. The great thing about these shoes is they have all the qualities of squat shoes, including this cool hyperlift insert that increases the heel by 8mm for men and 6mm for women. But unlike squat shoes, they can be worn to and from the gym and for any activity you may perform when you're not squatting. I've spoken often about warming up before any exercise, but it's even more important to do so before squatting, not only to reduce the risk of injury, but to increase your performance. One of my favorite methods of warming up, and what I advise you to do before squatting, is dynamic stretches. We can do this in two ways. First, with leg swings to prepare your hip flexors for movement. Leg swings will increase your range of motion and mobility at the hip. When you have tight hip flexors and your hip mobility is compromised, your movement can be limited, which can impede your performance. The second warm-up is to simply mimic the exercise you're about to perform, which just means a good few reps of air squats, with the same range of motion you intend to perform. What better way is there to prepare your body for an exercise than actually practicing the movement pattern? It is important to set up your training environment to your suitability before getting stuck in. Is the bar at the right height? You need to be able to comfortably get under the bar to remove it and put it back. You should consider that while you may be able to tiptoe to take the bar off, it's the last thing you want to have to fiddle with when putting the bar back after a dozen reps have left you dizzy. Consider your hand placement. The closer your hands are to your body, the more you can engage your lats, drive your elbows forward, and keep your chest up. When squatting, our goal is for the bar to follow a straight line path over the midfoot until hips are parallel or below our knees. A common mistake is to hinge at the hip and allow the weight to push your torso forward. What you should do is drive your hips back. Make the Aries proud, bend the knee, hit at least parallel, then come back up, pushing your knees out and keeping your chest up. A good squat is all about maintaining proper spinal stability. Before we descend into a squat, we need to recruit our core muscles so that we are truly prepared to handle the weight we intend to lift. This involves a breathing technique that is comprised of holding your breath, bracing, performing the rep, and exhaling all at the right time. To perform this effectively to get the most from each rep, just before you descend, you take a large breath, brace your stomach, and hold your breath throughout the entire repetition. By doing this, you increase the intra-abdominal pressure, which helps stabilize the lower spine. Bracing your stomach is not simply pushing your stomach out and being ready for a punch to the gut. The breath you take needs to be deep, utilizing the diaphragm to create as much 360-degree tension in the abdomen as possible. The most important factor that will determine how well you squat is finding your optimal stance and depth. Although not absolute, it should be noted that those who are taller, particularly with long femurs, may benefit from high bar squatting with a narrower stance and more depth, whereas those with shorter limbs may benefit from low bar squats with a wider stance. Ultimately, no two people can be expected to squat exactly the same, unless they are identical twins perhaps. Some people do not have the mobility or anatomy to safely and effectively perform a full squat. I want to be clear regarding the shallow quarter squat. It does exist as an actual technique with a defined purpose amongst athletes. Basketball players, for example, may use it to increase their vertical. However, I would say the majority of quarter squatting is mainly down to ego. I have seen both ladies and gents quarter squat weight that was just too heavy for them. Rather than fix or attempt to perfect their form, the weight just keeps going up in unison with the depth of each squat. I've been there, so I'm not mocking, just speaking from experience. This video is just to help you perform better squats, you know? And trust me, if you've got like a love-hate relationship with squats and leg day in general, once you've perfected your squat, you'll love it. And you won't have that daunting feeling of, oh, I've got to do some squats and trying to avoid it, you know? Which I know a lot of people probably do, like I used to, you know? I used to have these same reservations, you know, and I want to help you guys. So if you implement all of those tips that I've provided for you, 100% your squats will feel better. One thing that I didn't go through in the video, because I was just showing you like techniques, is this thought process. Strip the weight, man. Strip the weight, take it right back down to the drawing board and perfect your form so that you can progress with good form. Because there's no point, you know, smashing all these weights and they're uncomfortable and you know deep down that you can't handle that weight, because the second a spotter leaves your presence, the weight's coming off. You know, we don't want that. We want you to be confident. We want you to be under the bar, confident that you're gonna perform the rep correctly and efficiently and safely, you know? So yeah, hopefully that helps. Share it with your friends and look out for more videos. Peace out. 100, I'm out. Gone, but still here, out.